The Ukrainian Defense Forces have destroyed a Russian train with 40 tanks of fuel on the territory of the temporarily occupied Zaporizhzhia region. The defenders managed to destroy 40 tanks of Russian fuel worth $4 million. RBC Ukraine reported on this, citing its own sources. According to the sources, on December 14th, the SSU, in cooperation with the Tavria Operational Strategic Group, the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, the SOF, and the Unmanned Systems Forces, conducted an operation to cut off the logistics routes of fuel supplies from Crimea to the temporarily occupied territories of the Zaporizhzhia region. According to the media, at the first stage of the operation, special forces from the 13th Main Directorate of the SSU's Department of Military Counterintelligence organized sabotage to blow up the tracks while a train with tanks was moving near the village of Oleksiivka, Bilmatsky district. This led to the train stopping, which allowed the fighters of the 14th Regiment of the Unmanned Systems Forces to strike with drones, which led to the fire of some of the tanks. After that, the air reconnaissance units of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine adjusted the missile strike from the HIMARS MLRS of the Tavria Operational Strategic Group. The missiles hit the locomotive and the outermost cars, making it impossible to stretch the affected train to save the surviving tanks and reduce the fire. In the final stage, the DIU soldiers finished off the surviving tanks with the help of attack drones. The media reported the special operation destroyed a locomotive and 40 tank cars. Based on the video, Osinter Moklasin was able to geolocate the location of the train between the villages of Oleksiivka, Bilmatsky district, and Zelenyi High, Polohivsky district, Zaporizhzhia region. In addition to directly damaging the train, this attack will temporarily disable the only railroad line that supplied Russian troops in the temporarily occupied Zaporizhzhia region. This is not the first attempt to attack Russian railroad logistics in the area, although it was the first to involve such a large number of forces and equipment. In late June, a Ronin UAV unit of the 65th Separate Mechanized Brigade published a video of them trying to hit a locomotive with a long-range FPV drone near the city of Tokmak. However, in early August, the same unit made another attempt to attack railroad logistics, again targeting a locomotive. However, both of them were unsuccessful. In September, the Ukrainian military successfully hit a train carrying oil products near Tokmak using a UAV. 3 fuel tanks burned down. When one bad thing happens, another one usually follows, at least for Russians. 2 Russian tankers have suffered significant damage in the Kerch Strait due to severe weather conditions and have already sunk, Russian media outlets MASH and Baza reported on December 15. Russia's Emergency Situations Ministry also reported that the tankers, Volgoneft 212 and Volgoneft 239, had been damaged. Both vessels were carrying approximately 4,000 tons of fuel oil on board each, according to Baza. The Volgoneft 212 has 13 crew members aboard, while the Volgoneft 239 has 14. Both crews have requested assistance. In response, Russia's Emergency Situations Ministry stated that a Mi-8 helicopter with rescuers was deployed and that 13 sailors were evacuated from the Volgoneft 212, but one of them had died. The ministry has primarily focused on ongoing rescue operations, offering few details on the current condition of the tankers. According to eyewitness accounts reported by MASH, the Volgoneft 212 was cut in half by waves near the coast of Kerch, while the Volgoneft 139 sank within minutes after waves created a hole in the hull, causing a crack that split the ship in two. MASH reported that both tankers were built around 50 years ago and were hastily converted in the 1990s from full-fledged tankers to River Sea-class vessels. The rushed modifications included cutting the ships in half, discarding the center, and welding the bow and stern together, leaving a large seam that failed under the impact of powerful waves. This seam ultimately split apart, contributing to the vessel's sinking. Baza reported that investigators have opened 2 criminal cases following the sinking of the tankers, though this has not been confirmed by official sources. Russian-occupied Crimea is home to the Russian Black Sea Fleet, but successful Ukrainian strikes on Crimea have forced Moscow to relocate much of its naval forces from the peninsula to the Russian port city of Novorossiysk. Ukraine has repeatedly struck Russia's vessels since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. Around 30% of Russia's Black Sea Fleet is lost or disabled, according to the Ukrainian military. Russian military on Saturday, December 14, reportedly raised the flag of the Russian Federation on the administration building in Kurakhove, a city in the Pokrovsky district of Ukraine's Donetsk region. The video, shared by Russian military correspondent Grigory Vdovin on his Telegram channel, shows two soldiers entering the city council building before placing the flag on the second floor. According to Meduza outlet, the building's coordinates confirm the location. According to the deep state OSINT project, which is linked to Ukraine's Ministry of Defense, Russian forces now control most of Kurakhove. However, the armed forces of Ukraine still hold key industrial zones, including the Kurakhovska thermal power plant and the pipe plant in the western part of the city. Russian forces are focusing on capturing Kurakhove, a frontline town in the Donetsk region, and the nearby Kurakhove Reservoir to establish a bridgehead for an assault on Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk sits on a key road that links multiple cities that formed a defensive arc against Moscow's advances, and is the last major city in the central part of the Donetsk region that remains under Kiev's control. The New York Times reported Thursday that Moscow had shifted recent tactics near Pokrovsk, using open terrain to the south of the city to outflank Ukrainian positions rather than directly engaging Kiev's defensive lines. Ukraine's commander-in-chief Oleksandr Syrsky described the situation in Pokrovsk as extremely fierce on Thursday in a Facebook statement after visiting frontline positions, adding that Kiev has been reinforcing defenses to contain Moscow's advances. Syrsky also mentioned the unconventional decisions Kiev would have to make to bolster defense and more effectively destroy the invaders, without providing further details. Serhiy Kuzan, the chairman of the Ukrainian Security and Cooperation Center, a non-governmental research group, told the NYT that Ukraine might launch a surprise offensive to divert Russian troops, basing his assessment on Syrsky's previous tactics, such as the Kharkiv counteroffensive and Kiev's Kursk incursion.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.